What does a home really protect us from? Rain, cold, wild animals, darkness. The answer seems simple. A home is a place with walls, a roof, a door, a place where the outside world stops. But if we look deeper into human history, the meaning of home becomes much stranger. Because for most of our story, humans did not live in houses like we do now. They did not have bedrooms. They did not have kitchens. They did not have locks, mailboxes, closets, bathrooms, electricity, or Wi-Fi. And yet, they still had something we would recognize. A place to return to. A place to sleep. A place to gather. A place where fare stayed alive. A place where children learn. A place where stories were told. A place where fear became a little smaller. So maybe home was never just a building. Maybe home was one of the first ways humans tried to turn a dangerous world into a familiar one. Most people picture prehistoric human in one simple way: a cave, a fire, a few stone tools, someone wrapped in animal skin, sitting in the dark. This picture is not completely wrong. Some prehistoric people did use caves. Caves could protect people from wind. They could protect people from rain. They could give shade from heat. They could offer a natural wall against the unknown. But the idea that all prehistoric humans simply lived in caves is too simple. Many humans lived in temporary camps. Some used shelters made from branches. Some used animal hides. Some used bones, wood, grass, stones, mud, or whatever the land gave them. For many groups, home was not one fixed place. It was a route, a memory, a circle of familiar places, a camp near water, the camp near seasonal food, the camp near stone for making tools, a camp near animals they followed, the camp they might leave when the weather changed. To a modern person, this can feel strange. We think of home as an address, a number on a street, a door with a lock, a place where our stuff waits for us. But for many prehistoric people, home was not a point on a map. It was a pattern. They knew where the river curved. They knew where the berries returned. They knew which cave stayed dry. They knew which hill blocked the wind. They knew where animals moved in different seasons. Their home was partly outside their bodies, but it was also inside their minds. A map made of memory. A map passed from one person to another. A map taught by walking, by washing, by listening, by surviving. This is the first big difference between prehistoric homes and modern homes. Prehistoric shelter was close to nature. Modern home is close to systems. Back then, water was something you walked to. Now, water comes through a pipe in the wall. Back then, heat was fire. Now, heat is a button. Back then, darkness was real. Now, darkness is optional. Back then, food had to be found, gathered, carried, shared, or protected. Now, food can arrive at your door. Back then, your shelter was part of the landscape. Now, your home is part of a machine. Power lines, roads, pipes, banks, laws, internet, rent, insurance, schools, work, delivery systems. A modern house looks still, but it is connected to thousands of invisible things. A prehistoric shelter looked simple, but it was connected to something older. Weather, fire, the group, the land, the season, animal movement, human memory. And this is where the comparison becomes interesting, because modern homes are more comfortable, but prehistoric homes were often more connected to the immediate world. A prehistoric person could feel the wind change. They could hear the forest. They could smell smoke. They could see who was awake. They could tell if the fire was low. They could notice if the group was nervous. The shelter did not separate them completely from nature. It created a small space inside nature, a little pocket of safety. Not perfect safety, not comfort in the modern sense, but enough safety to sleep. And sleeping matters. Humans are vulnerable when they sleep. We are not covered in thick fur. We do not have claws. We do not see well in the dark. We are not the fastest animals. We are not the strongest animals, but we can do something powerful. We can create shared spaces. We can build places where one person rests while another washes. We can keep fire alive. We can teach children. We can arrange tools. We can return to the same place again and again. A home begins when chaos gets a pattern. One place for fire. One place for sleeping. One place for tools. One place for food. One place for stories. That may sound simple, but it changes everything, because a shelter is not only a wall. It is an arrangement. It tells the group what to do. where to sit, where to sleep, where to cook, where to store, where to gather, where to return. In a prehistoric camp, a child did not learn only by being told. A child learned by seeing the pattern repeat. The fire goes there. The tools stay there. The elders sit there. The food is shared there. The dangerous dark begins beyond that edge. The safe circle is here. This is one reason home matters so much to humans. It makes the world easier to understand. Outside, everything changes. Weather changes. Animals move. Food appears and disappears. Rivers rise. Nights get cold. Strangers may come. But inside the familiar space, some things repeat. And repetition creates trust. Trust is one of the hidden foundations of human life. A home says, we are still here. We came back. The fire is still here. The group is still here. The child is still safe. The tools are not lost. The story continues. This is why comparing prehistoric homes and modern homes is not just about technology. It is about psychology. It is about how humans handle fear. Prehistoric people faced a world that was physically dangerous. Cold could kill. Injury could kill. A bad season could change everything. Wild animals were not cartoon monsters. They were part of the real environment. It was not just the absence of light. It was a loss of control. The shelter helped create a boundary. Here is the fire. Here is the group. Here is the place we know. Out there is uncertainty. Modern people still create boundaries. But the uncertainty has changed. Most people today are not afraid that a bear will walk into their room at night. They are afraid of bills, noise, rent, isolation, loss of privacy, too much information, too many messages, too many responsibilities, too much world. So modern homes protect us from a different kind of danger. Not only weather, not only animals, but overload. A closed door can mean silence. A bedroom can mean privacy. The kitchen can mean control. The couch can mean rest. A lock can mean safety. A screen can mean connection. A home today is a shelter from physical nature, but also from social pressure. This is why modern homes can feel both comforting and heavy. They protect us, but they also hold our worries. A prehistoric shelter might have held a few tools, some food, sleeping skins, and fire. A modern home can hold thousands of objects, clothes, furniture, documents, screens, photos, cables, bills, memories, things we bought, things we forgot, things we hope to become. The more fixed the home becomes, the more it can store, and storage changes human life. This is one of the biggest turns in history. When people move often, possessions must be limited. You can only carry so much. A tool must be useful. A blanket must be useful. Food must be portable. But when people stay longer in one place, objects can remain, food can be stored, tools can gather, rooms can develop, walls can become stronger. The home becomes more than a shelter. It becomes a container for food, a container for objects, a container for memory, a container for family, a container for status, a container for the future. This changed the meaning of human life. If food stays, people stay. If people stay, homes become stronger. If homes become stronger, possessions grow. If possessions grow, ownership begins to matter. And when ownership matters, rules appear. Who owns this space? Who can enter? Who can use this food? Who belongs here? Who is outside? A prehistoric shelter could be temporary, but a settled home could become a claim. This place is ours. This food is ours. This wall protects what is ours. That sentence may be quiet, but it carries the beginning of many modern ideas: property, inheritance, privacy, neighborhoods, status, borders, law, debt, even identity. Think about how often modern life asks where you live. Your address connects you to school, to taxes, to voting, to deliveries, to medical care, to internet service, to work, to your bank, to your legal identity. In the modern world, a home is not just where your body sleeps. It is where society locates you. That is very different from a temporary camp. A prehistoric person could belong to a group, a landscape, a route, a season. A modern person often belongs to an address. This brings us to another hidden difference. Prehistoric homes were often more shared. Modern homes are often more private. In a small prehistoric group, sleeping near others was normal. Eating near others was normal. Hearing others was normal. Children grew up surrounded by adults, cousins, siblings, elders, and constant activity. Privacy existed, but not in the same way many modern people imagine it. The group was protection. The group was information. The group was memory. The group was survival. Modern homes often divide space: bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, living room, office, closet, private room, private scene, private schedule, private thoughts. This privacy can be beautiful. It gives people rest. It gives people dignity. It gives people space to think. But it can also create loneliness. A prehistoric person may have had less comfort, but rarely complete isolation. A modern person may have more comfort, but can feel alone inside a building full of people. That is the strange trade. More walls, more privacy, more control, but sometimes less shared life. And yet, modern homes are not truly separate. They only look separate. The house with closed curtains may feel private, but it is deeply connected. It depends on strangers you may never meet. Someone maintains the power grid. Someone purifies the water. Someone builds the road. Someone grows the food. Someone ships the furniture. Someone repairs the internet cable. Someone writes the rules that protect ownership. Someone processes the payment that keeps the lights on. A modern home is private on the surface, but under the surface, it is a web. A prehistoric shelter was visibly connected to nature. A modern home is invisibly connected to society. That may be the biggest difference of all. The prehistoric home said, "We survive with the land." The modern home says, "We survive through systems." Both are human. Both are fragile. Both can fail. A storm could damage a prehistoric shelter. A power outage can weaken a modern one. A bad season could threaten an ancient camp. A broken economy can threaten a modern household. Lost fire was serious then. A lost connection can feel serious now. The tools changed. The fear changed. But the need stayed. Humans still need a place where the world becomes smaller. A place where we can stop scanning the horizon. A place where the nervous system can lower its guard. A place where objects remain where we left them. A place where memory collects. A place where tomorrow feels possible. This is why even a simple room can feel powerful. It does not need to be expensive. It does not need to be beautiful. It does not need to impress anyone. If it gives you a small sense of order, it is doing something ancient. It is continuing a pattern older than cities, older than written language, older than money, older than nations. A fire circle, a roof of branches, a cave mouth, a hut, a village house, an apartment, a suburban home, a rented room, a place with a mattress on the floor. They are not the same, but they are connected by one human desire. Make the world bearable. Make the night smaller. Make the future less terrifying. When prehistoric people built shelter, they were not just escaping rain. They were creating a center for warmth, a center for teaching, a center for memory, a center for belonging. When modern people build homes, rent apartments, decorate rooms, lock doors, organize shelves, or save photos on walls, they are still doing something similar. They are drawing a line around a piece of chaos. They are saying, "Here for a moment, left can be arranged. This is mine. This is ours. This is where I return. This is where the outside world slows down." But there is also a warning inside the story. The more powerful homes become, the more they can control us. A temporary shelter asks little from you. A modern home can ask a lot. Money, time, maintenance, status, debt, attention, cleaning, bills, documents. A place built to protect you can become a place you work endlessly to protect. A home can be safety, but it can also become pressure. That does not mean modern homes are bad. It means they are complicated. They are one of humanity's greatest inventions, and one of humanity's biggest mirrors. Look at a prehistoric shelter, and you see a human trying to survive nature. Look at a modern home, and you see a human trying to survive society. One has fire at the center, the other has systems behind the walls. One is open to the landscape. The other is connected to invisible networks. One protects a small group from the night. The other protects one private life from too much world. But both tell the same story. Humans are not just animals that need shelter. Humans are animals that need meaning around their shelter. We do not only ask, "Where can I sleep?" We ask, "Where do I belong? Where are my people?" Where are my memories? Where can I be safe enough to think about tomorrow? That is what home really is, not just a roof, not just walls, not just a door. A home is a human answer to uncertainty. It is our way of saying to the world, not everything can enter here. Not everything can reach me at once. For a moment, the fire stays lit. For a moment, the door stays closed. For a moment, the future can wait outside.